And we are live. Today's date is August 2nd, 2024. This is going to be advice for men and women with regards to surviving the things that are to come. Okay? We have one person in the house. We're going to have over 7 or 8 people live. We're going to take our time. We're going to do this like a typical live stream. Go ahead and as you show up, throw up a like. Make sure that you hit the notifications for the bell, okay? And there will be more content, okay? But I'm seeing confirmation in my own personal life of certain things moving forward. And went to the gym earlier today with the t-shirt so that people can come to the website, right? So what I'm gonna actually do is have you let me know that we have solid audio and video, and we'll get started here after about 5 minutes. Okay, you can let me know in the comment section or through the form of a like. You have solid video and audio, and I'll show you what we have going on here. We have 2 people, and again, we're going to get started with our topic here in about 5 minutes. Now, this will be a daily thing, a regular thing. If there are positive signs such as comments, likes, shares, and viewers, and donations, if possible, for those that have the means, there will be more uploads, and I will return to doing this full time. You understand, by YouTube allowing me to go live, okay, and we are listening to the Fists and Fury theme. Now we're going to go to Cry Little Sister from the Lost Boys. And we don't have it set up for the audio to play directly, but I can get the software set up to do a radio show where I can literally come to you from a number of places and get you into a meditative mindset. It is pretty much like angels and demons dealing with the world right now, and shadow banning, seeing that the more demonic and evil a woman or a man is, the more successful they will be in relationships with regards to sex. A lot of women out there don't know that there are evil women out there and that they make life difficult for them. So it's my job to help young women become better women so that we have better men and women. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, right? That we're in this together, that the generational abuse of the sexes must end. And a lot of people don't see the symbolism in plain sight, but I see it. And a lot of people have gone to sleep. So the advice is for people to clean up their karma energetically. And a lot of people are creating negative karma for themselves. And a lot of people are checking out. A lot of people were a certain way a couple years ago, and now they've let the evil of this world turn them into manipulative people. Right? So if people are carrying around baggage, it doesn't matter what kind of money you have or gun, karma can come knocking. Okay. And a lot of women out there, they don't understand that there is sex trafficking, that a lot of women traffic themselves through their extreme beauty. And I'm not one to judge eyeliner or makeup, right? But to warn people that if you're not going to become conscious about the evil that men and women do, then you're going to become entrapped by them. I wish when I was a young man that I knew about sexual morality. Certain people out there bragged about having no sexual morality, which when you're a young person, you don't necessarily know what that means. A person devoid of spirituality when they're developing feelings and the root chakra is opening up. So I see myself as someone that has a lot of real life experience for this solar maximum. This period in time that we're in is one in which has been on my mind for a long, long time. Okay. We can trace it back to 2010, 11. Once we passed 2012, and it was clear that that was not significant in the way that we were led to think that it is or was to be significant, although it was significant, it just wasn't the end of the world. It was shortly after that that I projected the mid-2020s as a period in which the elite would stage manufacture their World War III scenario. I want to thank the 2 people for being there now and listening. And I'm going to say that I have another channel, as you know, and the t-shirt. And when I did a live test the other day, we had 3, right? So that proves my point. That proves that I am correct. that in order for me to reach more people, I've got to go outside my surname and I have to create content. And what I'm doing is I'm taking the best, right? Now, if you want to help me out via email and talk to me, maybe help me with some editing. Let's take the best of my content, right? And I've warned about the mid 2020s for many years. Folks, I told you years ago, this is about saving lives. And why would I want to save lives in white knight? Look, you men out there are right about the women. You're right about the women, but we're still going to help them anyways because we're trying to get off this rock. You see, I thought about doing shows like this a long time ago in downtown Portland with a desk. And now I'm doing it somewhere else that we have 3 viewers. I disliked this area for a long time because it was boring and it doesn't have some of the trinkets and baubles that the West Coast has. But I celebrate that now because everywhere these hipsters go, they destroy it. So we have basically the reality where ungodly places where there's strip clubs and pornography promoted, don't be surprised if those places are destroyed. And don't be surprised if other places aren't destroyed when they decide that they're not going to have certain things around. And see, that's the problem with society. That's the problem with the public educational school system. Everything is about pleasure to these monkeys. And that's what I was. I was basically unleashed. No major offense intended to my old friends and my parents, if you can even call them that. But they did kind of unleash me as some sort of like monkey, in this high-tech world without any true teachings of morality, let alone the teachings of Christ. I appreciate those of you that appreciate the teachings of Christ. And I think that we need to recenter on some of the most important biblical verses that smash through anti-themism and the illusions of separation. Right? So I knew a time was coming where I would have to go outside the box of the same old fears that I hung on to a long, long time. I tried to go live, just so you know, multiple times on this laptop. Only now, it's a setting thing. But sometimes there's a reason why we go live, we go private, we private videos, we go live again. But the telepathic hit that I got from you men last night was to keep going. That the dislike-like ratio isn't legit. And stepmom may be an ex-fling. She may be someone that just watched me for years and developed a judgment. And then, of course, it could be someone that is, and then one person just left. And then it could be a male, right? It could be a male that is pretending to be a female, because in this war on us angel souls, and it's so sad some of you keep attacking me when you know I've tried to help you years and years and years. Here's looking at you, kid, and your rude little comments that are only there to attack my self-esteem. Maybe you weren't there that day in which I uploaded that video, why trolls say the things that they say. So I want to thank those of you good men out there for saying the positive things. The females, for whatever reason, are not joining you. We now know Oregon women are no good unless they say they're good and they assert their value and they get up from their knees from the fellatio position. At that point, when you say you have value and you say you're more than an expletive and you actually do something to fight human trafficking and you recognize what I'm doing, then you will be elevated beyond that of an animal. But at this point, the people in my locale are way more valuable than Oregon West Coast trash. Oregon West Coast trash fucked me up. Okay, like I said, I wasn't taught sexual morality, so I didn't develop the right tools to attract marriage early on. And thank you for the light. So we have 4 people. And remember the YouTube URL. And so that's my advice for men and women coming up. Don't be so tempted by this matrix. And you know when I'm speaking, right? That people are walking by that my body is attracted to. But I know that the very people that my body is attracted to the most are the people that are going to break my heart the most. That's the trappings of the matrix. See, it's not just the women that are manipulated through their sexuality for the Nephilim. It's also the man. We're going to review this, right? So if you're on Facebook, you're noticing the rise of these Nephilim alien babes. And that's the deception also in the future. We're going way beyond 2025. We're going like full on future. Nephilim, Anunnaki babes harvesting male humanoid sperm for some Anunnaki Frankenchild. It's alive. It's alive, right? Now we have 5 viewers, and that's a hell of a lot more, right? Now we're down to 4. But it's okay if people want to pop in and just, grab a whiff of some of the energy, because the energy is strong, and sometimes it's going to be strong, so strong that you're going to have to hit the back button. It's not for everybody. That's why I litter the energy out in different places, right? It's up to them, Jason. So thank you. So we will do these live streams on a much more regular basis, but we won't overdo it. And so that I'm making a positive contribution to society with the changes in consciousness, because I know that through the intensity and pain, I can drive people away. I drove a lot of Portlanders away by giving them too much information about myself. And I know that I am right by knowing that when I self-censor aspects of my life story and I go outside the box with some people, I can become more successful at the mission, which is not developing what people might assume, cult followers, but actually educating people and being a teacher more than another typical male fornicator. Now, when we start seeing women show up in the audience that appreciate this real talk, and they're not trying to mend it, because like what stepmom will do is say, thank you for quitting drinking, like it's her fucking business, and then start jabbing me. And that's what women do. Now, I don't know if we talked behind the scenes, Jason, but stalking altered how much information I share, so I don't film where the places I go as far as that stuff. Right. So certain people don't know my full story, but I would recommend that you keep track of my work on Amazon, and I'll be explaining some of the past work experiences and the trauma that happens by being a public speaker. And really, it's really best that you pick one path or the other. But I have picked poverty over what a lot of you men have picked, which is wealth and prosperity, because I'm on a path that's non-physical. Okay. And because of that, my lack of wealth, my lack of land, and we'll get back to our main topic. My lack of these things, my lack of status is what causes people to see value in my warning. So be focused on the title of this video. It's not how much money I have, do you understand? But do you understand? It's you surviving what's to come and me taking my risks and being put away even by the system. Can I get a like? Do you know why you're here? Why are you here? Do you need advice for what's to come? Or is this entertainment? We need people to unsubscribe that we're just watching for years for the wrong reason, because the old Alex is gone. I'm on a mission. Do you understand? Do you understand? Do you understand? We're not doing the meetups anymore. When I talk on the other channel, that's for locals that I meet in the flesh. It's when I meet people in the flesh that they respect me. When I don't share too much information, when I don't talk about where I work, how much money I make, you'd be amazed when you go beyond the superficial. So learn from me and let me be a teacher. Don't let people like W on his bad day win. But your questions are valid, but I want you to pray for me. When I tell you I found the one who's going to let me, then I will go out and I will work, okay? I will go out and I will work, bro, 40, 50 hours a week when I find the person worth working for. Because when you go out and you work and you work and you work, part-time, full-time, yeah, this is advice. This is right back on topic. This is the type of engagement I like. See, and when you are doing work that you love, you avoid the drugs, you avoid the alcohol. So I can mentor those of you that are working full time into realigning your assets. And that's what the A-man, he did try to lead me on the right path early on in how to manage your money. And some of you need that counsel. Some of you have more assets than me. Some of you have wives, you have loved ones, and your priorities are in the wrong place. With women, right? Some women make way more than certain men. And during the COVID thing, they were still playing up that left versus right, man versus woman thing. They were saying that 100% of the job losses were women, when I knew nobody wanted to hire me. So when they're often talking, I don't want to go on a racism rant here on my channel anymore. But don't think that I'm done with my trauma or CPTSD regarding that. I just know that right now, verbally, that's not something that you need to hear, because it doesn't really, you could become defensive and think you're being attacked when at least you're here. I told you over and over and over again that white people in general, although I don't necessarily pass for whites, all people, white people, they've been my greatest donators and helpers, right? And I'm definitely not outside the race. That's the mistake of my mother, okay, for leading me into the illusion of separation, literally screaming at me with all caps, you're this, you're that, you're Arab, you're Indian, and still to this day refusing to tell me about my ancestry. So some of you are still watching going, this guy is really screwed up. This guy is really a victim, but yet W and others, and I want to put the focus on him. You didn't have the childhood I had, and you have more knowledge about your Norwegian, Anglo-Saxon history, whereas mine was kept from me. So you could say it's through my trauma of what I've experienced that I was forced to become more intuitive through trial and error, maybe some of that drug exploration. So let's bring it back. This obsession that I've had with 2025 has been around for a long, long time. Okay, so it's countdown to the solar maximum. And I watched some of Sufi realities, right? But the main thing is all this money that people have worked for, and the reason why human trafficking is a risk is because the potential for people's bank balances to return to zero is there. And I'm from Oregon, Jason said. I found you a long time ago. Right. I did say previously, and I'm new to interacting with the audience as far as comments, and so I know to just take a deep breath and go one thing at a time. I have a little bit of PTSD with rude comments when I was off grid, and I think that was the last time we did a live stream. We did a live stream last night, but there were no comments. So now we're just returning to normalcy. If you are seeing positive things about Oregon, feel free to let me know, right? But the vibe that I get right now is very troublesome. And I see nothing but confirmation. There was some story in Portland about 50th and Duke, a guy molesting a 10-year-old. This is the type of stuff. Where are the women in my life going, high five? Amen. Excuse me. High five, Alex, for talking about these things. Where are they? They're nowhere. What does that lead me to think? I put out the call a couple months ago to come back to Portland, and a woman who's 80 years old invited me to her birthday party and seemed too senile to understand. I don't mean to be insulting. To understand that I was not there to go to her birthday party, and that if I'm to come all the way to Oregon, that I need to do like more than just visit somebody. It was very narcissistic. Jason says it's very troublesome here. I live down in Salem, but not in a big city. So guys, thank you for the double likes. If we have positive engagement and we get one of you to be a moderator, right? But you need to understand, and I've been trying to tell you this, you need to have a bouncer. Thank you for the triple like. You need to have a bouncer at the nightclub. And so if you're 4 likes, if you're going to be talking controversial content and speaking against Satan, you need to have a Patrick Swayze at the door. Look at how that movie opens. He goes in that, I haven't watched the new one. If you think I should watch the new one and not judge the guy, if I don't want to be judged for being a self-taught martial artist, and that's what I am. I am somewhat of a self-taught martial artist, and I enjoy exploding with power and fury, but not on a person, on the bag, because I know I'm using ki and internal energy, and it's amplifying my psychological status. And I'm making peace with black people, white people, even if they're perceived to be Nazis or black supremacists when I'm in the sauna. I'm really not getting negative vibes right now from Latino cultures, but I know to stay away from the super sexual hottie. Listen, you have to be actually ready for God to send the one into your life. You have to be deserving. That's why I talked about celibacy and the porn blockers and being worthy of the right one. And then knowing what ethnicities hate you the most without being racist, but just knowing that I know my own heritage hates me, white people and that of my father. I know they're locked into the illusions of separation. I know through experience that I'm being shown to turn away from my own peoples and to understand that in some of you, that might be a bit much. I told you I accept you for being what you are. Thank you. And then we have Zenable. And so Zenable, because of you, we will do the spiritual MGTOW. It's because of Mr. Steve Hoka and others that I stopped doing MGTOW completely. Okay, I just thought you should know that. And then I just thought you should know that a hottie walked by and that I basically pranced down her pranciness. And, I'm talking about money's going away. Everything about her is money. Like, there are women out there in this society that, for whatever reason, because I don't think they're angelic souls, they can walk around hoity-toity with their tits just popping out of their blouse, and no one's going to traffic them because they're not serving. That's what I'm saying. I really worry about pretty women that are angelic in this world, because this world is hell. And you have a lot of women out there, right, that are not on the light side, and nothing ever bad happens to them, which is good, but it's specifically because they're that sane and that this world's hell. That's why you have a lot of fake Christians that do the whole John 3:16 thing, while they avoid the teachings of Christ and actually engage in Christian persecution themselves. They false flag too much of that Fox News. They're allergic to the truth. And so that's why we shouldn't be afraid of the evil one taking us out of this world. As I said one day to my mother, who's lost in fear, who tried to pass it on to me, it's about raising our vibration so greatly that the cosmic bouncer of this world takes us out, if need be, because this is not the ultimate world. So I am a Gnostic at heart, but I don't want to over alienate you Orthodox folks from learning from me. In order to attract Muslims to this channel, even though I'm not Muslim in the other channel, I will tell them what they need to hear and point them so that they understand. But a lot of them that come here, they are trapped in the illusions of separation, that somebody has to be exactly their religion or language. So you almost have to deceive them to get them to, listen. And I know that I need to clean up the sexual language and commentary in order for them to listen, because it's against their religion to hear that. But I know so much about dating and I have so much men's advice that I feel like right now with the Solar Maximum, we have 6 people watching. With the Solar Maximum, that you almost need to have like a AA love line, because I see myself as a mentor. So on that note, I have approached some females locally in a town in which, the attractiveness is lower than average. And so when I see a few that get my eye attention and maybe a little bit more louche, maybe a little bit obsession, right? Cue the song from the 80s. What do you want from me to blah, 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 right? No, it's a lower than average attraction region of the earth that really makes you miss places like the West Coast as long as you're lustful. And then I really became appreciative that, there's a lot of less than attractive people around me that are not sexual, that are asexual, that are just not feeling the strip and pull vibe. It really is amazing. And I tell people here, you really should travel America. It really is not a complete dump. You'll really, you'll see things from another perspective. Your heart will open up. But like I said, now my heart is opening up. I think it's awesome that hipsters don't like this spot. But I'm noticing, since I'm becoming more confident in around town, that some of the lesbians are taking notice of me and my work and my t-shirt. I'm leading them without fear to my websites. And I have local websites, where I utilize voice changers and continue will with AI avatars with no need to donate. So it's the opposite of being a narcissist. It's the opposite of something that'll get me laid. It's the opposite of playing the game. And I don't tell them what they want to hear. I tell them the opposite of what they want to hear, and nobody will subscribe. It's the ultimate zombie apocalypse. It's the ultimate thrill. It's the ultimate wake-up call. I curse the day every day I end up invited to this shithole. But every day I look around, I see evil around me, and 316 people literally run from me now. Now that my energy is cranked up, this is awesome, bro. This is like Dark City mind training. Don't be mystified. This is advice for you angels trying to escape hell. You good men and women trying to avoid the bad men and women. Don't be mystified by the big biceps and the fancy cell phones and the titties, because that's what traps you here. Pause. The solar maximum affecting the homelessness increasing. Yes, yes, yes. Good questions. I don't watch your stuff for entertainment. You're the only person that I see has talked about for solar activity. So DFH, I will resume it. Salem is screwed up. Salem was always screwed up. I'd like to get into documentary filmmaking, on the geopolitics and the supernatural and or solar flares. They also need to be separated. Anyways, right now I'm in a forward moving trajectory. And if I do find the union I'm looking for, like I literally am going to have physical copies of my book with me so I can show people on the fly. But it's really easy for me to look at a woman and go, no, don't even waste your time. No, bro, no. She's only looking at you because you're meat. She's only looking at you because it's temptation. Now I'm looking for my, I tell myself the truth. But I'm not going to judge all women if she wears the makeup. So the homelessness thing. The reason why, this is red marker, I got to get a black marker. If any of you do graphics and you want to give me a YouTube logo with a 2025 countdown, this is going to draw to me the people that I need to help. And then when I do that, it gives unto me energy right here that makes me powerful to help you. Right back at you when you deserve it. This isn't Illuminati stuff. Don't be scared. It's one of the hand positions of Kuchi Kuri. I sensed something powerful, but I accidentally dropped my candle and it shattered at 11 when I was going to meditate last night. I was rushing outside to light the candle, and I just sat there and meditated on me finding love and becoming very empowered. So you have kick-ass documentaries. So people wanting to go off grid, leaving the city, leaving technology, and then homeless people having issues. Thank you for the likes. People having issues with jobs, people having issues with girlfriends. We'll talk about that now. This is like a men's circle with the silent women watching. Especially men, but also women. We have especially certain souls or signs. They have a difficult time functioning in a left brain dominant society. So when the solar flares are strong and dominant, you have people that have a difficulty, obviously, following orders, and so there could be aspects of those solar cycles that are breaking down the programming. So then you have the unrest, you have the fighting, you also have the repressed sexuality when we really should be creating babies, right? Which is why I noticed, an increased, very strong libido and even increased perceived male member. And not to sound graphic or to make shit up, I said it before. What if God literally alters our body and even makes us younger? And then I'm noticing artificial intelligence on YouTube seemingly reading my mind and giving me positive self-help videos. Like what I'm saying is, you may be able to go down the rabbit hole on YouTube and be led to positive things other than mind control. I know that I've just pointed at the mind control demonic side of AI, but you can be shown videos and music that you're thinking about. But see, I recommend people get away from their cell phones. I'm having a spiritual experience with Roku and AI through a plasma screen. And then I use the blue light glasses, right? But if you're on your cell phone, you're exposed to way more blue light. Now, a plasma screen from like 2000, which is what I have, purchased for $50 or $100 from some wealthier Latina who was upgrading to a $2,000 TV and just happened to find her on Nextdoor one day. Okay, but it is a gas guzzler, so to speak, as far as energy. So my financial requirements may be going up to meet utility costs to chip in, FYI. So, well, they are going up. I may be seeking grocery work, to go back to the earlier question, because that is something that I traditionally start out doing, and I am kind of a jock right now, and I really just want to be left alone and just to work, and I have the muscles basically to stock dairy, so I may do something like that at some point and consider a retirement, right? Yeah, I feel like I'm waiting for someone to enter my life, so I have a motive to make money. I think I have an infection on my foot for going to the sauna with clogs, and I need to learn proper hygiene and take a big proper bag. I also got some focus pads, and I'm trying to recruit somebody to hold the pad so I can strike it and not just hit the bag, and also teach someone how to strike so I can show someone in W that I'm not just, and then do some drills, punch back and forth, impress the A man back home, do the drill that we did, do some circular motion, and show that it works. Now, if I could find an Aikido master, all the more. I'm not going to mention too many details, but there is I don't want to use the word derogatory, Oriental or Asian martial arts school that I'm considering. Furthermore, um, it goes without saying that my knife has been confiscated. Now, I'm going to be looking at something called the Manriki Gusari. It's power of 10,000 men, and it's a chain that you swing. And I'm going to get that for defense against a sword and chain and bat and knucks. It's called Manriki Gusari, legal as hell. And I'm going to look at the Asian World of Martial Arts catalog, right? So I'm going to get me some martial arts partners and get me some women, excuse the French, that are willing to try some martial arts with me and resist sexual content and urges and just be spiritual. I'm going to find those men and women like a circle of five, and we're going to do some drills. Thank you. And I think that I should bounce now to keep this positive. So you're not drained and I'm not drained, and I'll consider coming back. But we have 6. Maybe we'll leave when we have 7 likes. But yes, when the solar flares pop off, we have basically people deprogramming, and it becomes very difficult. And then so you have people drifting into certain areas. When we have 7 links, 7 likes, we're out. You have people drifting from the magnetism into certain areas like Portland, and then with them, if one of you has a theory on the Portland conspiracy, Oregon conspiracy, and how they broke down Oregon, do you think China influenced the Oregon directors? I need you to know that Google did reach out to me and offer to talk to me behind the scenes. I was part of a selection. It's a random polling to complain about AdSense, and I could have really bitched about the exposed videos, and I just chose to not even give a fuck. I just chose to just toughen up and not even bitch about it and screw the monetization and sucking up. I gave YouTube a lot of my time. I let YouTube give me PTSD. I blame W and others, and it's time to grow up and grow a pair and move on and take my power back. Now, someone recommended I go to hive.com and play some videos there. So I'll tell you when I start spreading my love and light to other places. But I'm not going to attack Trump supporters anymore. I'm not going to necessarily attack Biden supporters, but I'm not on a Trump or Biden train. It's that I'm willing to work with people if we can agree on the issues. You want me to be a nice guy. You also want me to be a hard ass on the right issues. Sayonara, folks. See you in the funny papers.